Okay, everybody, Tyler here, all things archery and shooting. This could be a Q&A question and answer. I'm trying to answer a bunch of questions and comments I've gotten in the last couple of months from my followers and also my subscribers. I've written all these questions down so that we can go ahead and go through them, okay? I got the questions written in here, so. All right. So let's go through them, okay? A lot of people send me comments and send me questions about how I shoot and how I get such good groups, where I get my bows, stuff like that. So I figured instead of I try to answer as many questions as I can in this Q&A session. I'm going to try to make it quick, maybe 10 minutes. Just answer some of the numerous questions I get, ones I get a lot of, for instance. So then we'll take a look at my workshop here in my office I got and my editing station and give you a quick tour where I do all my video making at. All right, first off, I got a question here. These questions come either through email or they come through messaging or through my comments section of YouTube. All right. First request is from a person named Sarah, 1968, and she's asking me, how is it that I shoot such tight groups and all these different bows that I use? Okay. Well, Sarah, there's a trick to that. Okay. First off, the groups that you see on my video, on my review section, I always try to do three videos. Usually it's an unboxing and setup. Part 2 is usually on range time and accuracy and velocity, and part 3 are final thoughts and recommendations. And my part 2, to get to that part of the video, is usually I spend time with the bow that I'm going to be using. Okay. For instance, if I'm doing a review on, a black hunter bow, for instance. Okay. So I do so many reviews on so many different bows. Each bow is a different draw weight, they need different type of arrows or different type of bow, recurve, long bow, compound, etc. They're not all going to shoot the same, okay? Each bow's got its own quirk to it. You got to learn the bow itself. So before I do the actual range time on the bow, I usually spend a couple of days with it, 2 or 3 days with the bow, learning the bow, getting used to the bow, getting a feel for the bow. So that when I do the when I do the accuracy portion of the video, I want to try to be as straightforward as I can and give the bow the best chance possible. And the way for me to do that is I must know the bow and used to the bow, okay? Some bows I can pick up right away and shoot very quickly, and some bows take a few days to get used to. Like the last review I did, the Ben Pearson bow. That bow is a unique kind of bow because it's not a center cut bow. It really have a sight window. You're shooting off 2 little pegs on the edge of the riser. And that bow took quite a bit of trial and error to get where I get on target with it. What I mean by that is I didn't really have the right arrows for that bow. That bow needed a really light spine shaft. So it's kind of like an old school long bow. When you shoot that bow, the arrow actually wrap around that riser and then straight to get target. And I didn't really have, I had the right arrows weight wise, but not the right spine weight. So usually it's not made you go down one weight. So that bow was 39 pounds at my draw, and I was shooting a 35 to 40 pound cedar shafts. I probably should have dropped that down to a 25 to 30 pound cedar shaft. I probably got a little more accurate. It didn't have any 25 to 30 pound cedar shafts. So I used what I had. And it took me 2 or 3 days to get used to that bow. And I try to leave some of that in the video, some uncut video footage where showing where I was shooting at the bow, trying to get on target. It turned out at 20 yards, I really had to hold low about 8 inches and to the right about a foot to get that into the bullseye zone, okay? But to get there, I had to trial and error until I get the right point of aim and where the bow was going. Once I got it figured out, though, I was able to play arrows on target. And that's the way I do all these bows I try out. Usually before the part 2 of my review session, I'm always checking the bows out, getting some string time behind them, and learning the different quirks of the bow and how to shoot the bow, okay? Otherwise, I'll never be able to shoot those such tight groups right away. I have to get used to them. I guess some bows I pick up a lot quicker, and some bows take a little more time, okay? So, hope that answers your question, Sarah. Second question here, I've got, this one is from Cliff99Out, okay, that's his name, okay. He's asking me, where do I get all the bows that I have? How do I afford to buy all these bows if I'm rich? Well, first off, I'm not rich, okay. Secondly, most of these bows I buy, I get them from either eBay or Amazon, or once in a while I'll find them at a local garage sale or a state auction, but mostly eBay and Amazon. And I think the most expensive bow I've ever reviewed was probably my Mandarin Duck 2-piece takedown longbow I did a review 3 or 4 months back. That bow cost me $399 and I had to wait like 3 months to get it. The second most expensive bow I spent would be my Bear Archery Super Grizzly. I think I paid $275 for that bow or $250 for that bow at the Bear Pro Shop, which is not too far from my house in Gainesville. Most of my bows run between $50 and actually a low of $25 to a high of about $150. And most of them I get from eBay or Amazon. Now the ones from eBay I get, those I end up getting those bows and I'll actually relist them. I'll resell them on my eBay page after I do review on them if I don't want to keep them. Amazon bows are done a little bit differently because every Amazon, I'm a Prime member, comes with a money back guarantee. And after I get the bow and I shoot it and I review it, if I don't like the bow or something about I'm not happy with, then I'll send it back to Amazon, get a credit, and buy another bow with that, okay? Or if I do like it, I'll just keep it. But most of the time with Amazon, that's how I do my bows, either eBay or with Amazon. That's where I get most of my bow shots from, okay? And like I said, when I get stuff from eBay, if I like to keep it, I'll keep it. If not, I'll just, once I do the review on it, I'll relist it on my eBay and I'll sell it. Sometimes sell it for a profit, but sometimes not. But anyway, and then Amazon, I'll send it back and get an Amazon credit for it and put it toward another bow. So no, I'm not rich. That's how I'm able to afford all these different bows and gizmos and stuff that I buy. I set up a Patreon channel to help me with this expensive. So if you haven't logged already, click on my Patreon channel and become members. A lot of cool features on that, okay? Let's move on, all right? How long have I been shooting archery, okay? This is from, I can't pronounce the name, Desano. It's kind of like German or something. All these weird curves. Anyway, Desmano, if you're listening to me, I've been shooting bows since I was about 11, 12 years old when I first started shooting. And without giving away my age, I can tell you I've shot archery for more than 40 years, okay? Getting pretty close to 50 years I've been shooting archery, okay? So I've been doing it for a long time, and I've shot compound for a lot of years. I shot compound bows. I think my very first bow I baited myself out of a couple tree limbs that I'd cut down and put a string between them to name on an arrow. That was when I was like 11 years old. But after that, I got into compound, started shooting compound. I shot compounds for years, and I shot different types of compounds. And then traditional archery, I've been shooting off and on for several years, but I really got into it heavy about 4 years ago. That's when I've been strictly, the last 4 years, I've only hunted with traditional equipment, whether it be longbow or a recurve, okay? And so hope that answers your question on that. Okay, next one. How is it you're able to get such tight groups on that you shoot? I've been shooting a recurve bow for 4 years now, and I can't get the kind of groups that you get. Okay, this is from Nomad 2011. Okay, all right. I did a video on this about a couple weeks ago about my shooting. I got my own unique hybrid shooting style that I've developed over the years. And it's kind of like a gap snap shooting instinct. But the most thing I can say, the reason I can shoot the way I do is because, for one, I shoot a lot of arrows. I shoot 100 to 150 arrows a day. I mean, I very seldom miss a day, unless it's really raining out or something, but I very seldom miss a day. And I get a lot of string time, a lot of practice arrows. And I also build my own arrows, and I also tune my arrows to the bow. Whatever bow I'm shooting, I'll tune it to that bow, okay? And like I said at the beginning of this video, most of the reviews you see on these bows, I've already shot that bow 2 or 3 days beforehand to get used to it and find the right arrow combination and spine combination so I can shoot those groups. You just can't pick a bow up and stick an arrow in it and shoot that kind of group. It just doesn't work that way, at least not for me. You have to get behind the bow, get used to it, learn it, and get some string time on it. And like I said, I've got a nice range out here, so I do spend quite a bit of time on my range. Every day I'm out there shooting, and I shoot anywhere, like I said, anywhere from 100 to 150 arrows a day. And that's the best thing I tell you. You want to become a good shooter, get good equipment, tune your arrows to your bow, don't get overbowed, and practice, okay? Speaking of overbow, just touching that real briefly, a lot of people coming from compound, go traditional, and they get too much bow. And I say overbow, they think they can shoot a 70-pound compound bow, they can shoot a 70-pound recurve or a 60-pound recurve. It's not going to work, okay? I recommend if you're going from a compound bow, say your 70-pound compound bow, you want to cut that weight in half, move into a traditional world. So for instance, if you shoot a 70-pound, you want to shoot a 35-pound recurve bow, okay, or a long bow. That's what I recommend you start at. And give it one further, I'd even take 5 pounds off that and start with a 30-pound. Because recurve is a lot different than shooting compound. You got to get your anchor right, your stance right, everything about it. And if you get overbowed, you're going to get frustrated. You're not going to want to shoot. It's not going to be accurate, and you're going to put it down. And if you start small, work your way up, you'll become a good archer. Okay. Not saying that I'm the great archer or a great archer by any step of the imagination. I just know that over the years it's worked for me, and I pass that along in my video. We reference my shooting video, my target video that I put on a couple weeks ago, and you'll maybe get some more information on that. Okay. All right, moving on. All right. How long have you hunted with a bow? Well, I've hunted with a bow for many years, but strictly traditional bow lasts 4 years. What's the biggest deer you've ever taken with a bow? Okay. This is from whitetail something, whitetail _ ... 43. Okay. Biggest deer I've taken was with a compound bow about 5 years ago, about 155 score on that deer. Pretty good sized deer. Okay. Traditional archery, I've killed a few with that, not a lot. I've killed nothing really big. I've killed mostly small 8-point stuff on my traditional archery. I am going to go on hopefully this year to get some big trophy bucks on my traditional deer. That's what I'm looking forward to. But I've killed probably since I've been hunting with a bow, probably 30 to 40 deer at least minimum, and probably the same number of hogs and small game. You know, I also hunt squirrels. I hunt rabbits. I also hunt. I've tried hunting ducks with a bow. Not been successful yet, but I have been able to hunt dove, and I've shot dove off the ground, and I've shot crows on the fly with my bow. So I do hunt different small game and stuff with it. Okay. All right, moving on. All right. What is your favorite hunting bow, and what are you using right now? Okay, my favorite hunting bow, probably the Bear Grizzly that belonged to my dad. It's a 1967 bow. It's a 44-pound bow, but my draw weight's about 47, 48 pounds, and I'm most accurate with that, and I've shot that the most. I did a comparison of the Bear Grizzly and the Super Grizzly. In that video, you'll see my dad's bow. That's the one I shoot mostly. That's my favorite bow, and I'm shooting with it right now, hunting with it right now. Okay. All right. Here's another one. What do I think of the Black Hunter bows? Okay, I gotta tell you, I love the Black Hunter bows. I got several. I think I've got 6 Black Hunter bows, and I love them all. They're great bows for the money. I don't think there's a better value out there than a Black Hunter bow. I mean, for $100, you're getting a high quality bow. It's extremely fast and extremely reliable, and it's not a bad looking bow. So Black Hunter bow, either the long bow or the recurve, are both excellent options, and I do like them both. And I've shot them both, and I've hunted with them both. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I already covered that. What do I prefer, aluminum arrows, carbon arrows, or wood arrows? Okay. I've shot all 3. I've even shot fiberglass arrows too. And when I was shooting compound, I didn't get into the carbon phase really like everyone else did. I stuck with lightweight Easton XX75s or XX78s, usually 2213 or 2115 arrows. I have shot a few aluminum arrows on my traditional equipment, like my recurve and longbows. But for recurve and longbow, I got to say I like wood arrows the best. I do have a couple I'm shooting carbon arrows off of now. That's just because they shoot better with them. They shoot better than the wood arrows do for me. And also I'm having trouble getting pour for cedar now. There's apparently a shortage of pour for wood cedar arrows, and the last couple of months I've been having a hard time replenishing my stock of that. So they're kind of hard to come by right now. So I've been moving slowly more into the carbon arrows. And the carbon arrows are nice. You do a lot with the carbon arrows. I mean, some go with that traditional coating on it, they look like wood arrows, but you can do so much. You can change your point weight in there. You can add weight to the front, change your FOC. You can adjust the nock in the back. There's a lot of cool things you can do with the carbon arrows you really can't do with wood arrows. So probably eventually I'll end up shooting all carbon arrows, but right now I'd probably say I prefer wood arrows over everything else. It's just a feel of a wood arrow and a recurve or long bow, traditional bow. It feels right, so that's what I like to shoot right now. Okay. Here's one. What kind of broadheads do you use and why? Well, I use different type of broadheads, mostly whatever works. I prefer a 2-bladed broadhead, and I don't like a single bevel. I like a double bevel just because it's easier to sharpen. And usually with a single bevel, some things you got to do with your fletching to make it fly right. With a double bevel, I've shot those for years. I've shot the Bear Superheads. I've shot Zwickis. I've shot a bunch of those, and I like the single bladed double bevel head. Not like a 3-blade head or a 4-blade head or anything like that. I prefer those old school kind of broadheads. My favorite arrow I'm shooting right now, broadhead I'm shooting, is probably the Zwicky 140 grain. It really comes sharp right out of the factory. I'm really doing sharp with it and holds up really well. So that's what I'm shooting now, okay, on most of my bows. All right. And no, I don't like mechanicals. Especially, I didn't use them when I had compound bows, and I definitely don't use them on my traditional bows. They just don't work real well. All right. Have I ever shot 3D tournaments or target archery or thought about shooting that? And I said, no, I've never really shot those. Well, let me rephrase that. When I was shooting compound, I did shoot a few 3D tournaments, but really didn't get on a team or get heavy into it. I have done some field archery shooting, but mostly I just shoot from on my own range or out in the woods myself. And once in a while, I'll go to the indoor range and shoot, just because it's bad weather out. But other than that, I don't really shoot 3D or field archery or target archery. Okay. I have shot against target archers before with my recurve bow at the ranges when I do go to a public range, but not really for competition, no. What do I prefer for hunting? Do I like a tree stand, lock on, a ladder stand, or do I prefer a ground blind or a climber? Well, I've used them all. I don't like climbers. I used to shoot climbers a lot, and a couple of years ago, 5-6 years ago, I was up 30 foot up this pine tree and got up there, got settled, and I'm sitting there. Next thing I know, I moved my legs, stretched them out a little bit, and apparently my foot platform decided they want to make its way down the tree. Next thing I know, I hear click, 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 and my foot platform's 15 foot down the tree and working its way all the way down to the bottom. Eventually hit the bottom, so I'm 30 foot up a tree on the seated part with my foot platform at the bottom of the pine tree. To get down, it was kind of a crazy thing. I don't know what I was going to do. So what I had to do is I basically just turned around, I bear hugged the tree, and I just scooched down the tree best I could. And it was pretty scary at the time. So I thought I was going to fall for sure. But I had my safety rope on, and I used it in conjunction with my arms to help move that back and forth. And I eventually did get to the bottom, but it took some work. When I got down there, I was all scratched up and scuffed up from my arms and my chest from hugging that tree. So don't use climbers anymore. Lock-on stands, I do use them. I've got a couple out there I'm using now, but I'm trying to get away from those. I've had a good friend of mine a couple years ago fall out of a lock-on stand. He didn't get hurt badly, he did break his collarbone, but the lock-on stand, the strap that goes around the hose in the tree actually broke and he fell 15 feet. So I really don't use lock-on stands that much. I have one or two that I do have out in the woods, but I don't really like to hunt them. I prefer, if it's going to be a stand, I prefer a ladder stand or I prefer a ground blind, okay? So I've used both, but if I had to pick one, I'm probably going to be a ladder stand, my favorite right now, okay? All right, that brings me to the next question. This is from another guy. He's asking me, he says, what size bow do I like to use for tree stand and for ground blind, and what is my favorite overall bow length and bow weight? That's kind of an interesting question, okay? For a ground blind, I try to use a 52-inch bow. I've got a Kodiak Magnum on the wall back here that I use for that, mostly because it's short, 52 inches, and I can swing in my ground blind release from a seated position. And I do practice shoot my arrows from a seated position. It's kind of hard to swing a 60-inch bow or 62-inch bow in ground blind. Tree stand, same way. I try to use a 56 or 58-inch. I try to stay away from the 60s or 62s. But if I had to pick one that I like the best, I prefer a 60-inch overall length AMO. That seems to be a sweet spot for me. I really like the 60-inch bow. I shoot those the best. I'm not saying I can't shoot a 58 or 56 or 52. I do quite well with those too, but I just prefer more comfortable to shoot a 60-inch bow. Only time I use a 60-inch bow if I'm doing a spot and stalk hunt, or if I'm in a homemade ground blind made out of brush that I can just pop up and shoot over it. Okay, because they don't work real well in a ground blind. And sometimes in a ladder stand or a tree stand, that bottom limb will bang on the ground for you. So so I prefer 60 inches is my favorite. My favorite weight is about 48 pounds. That's my sweet weight. Most of my bows are between 47 and 49 pounds. I do have a few that are 55 and 58 that I can shoot, but I prefer a 47 to 48 pound. Somewhere in that range, I just shoot those the best, okay? Alrighty, another one here. Let's see what's going here. Okay, where did I learn to do all of my bow reviews and arrow building and tuning of bows at? Okay, all right. Simple question. And most of the stuff I picked up over time with friends and buddies of mine on the compound side, on the recurve side. I went to YouTube channel. I mean, there's a lot of how-to videos on YouTube, and that's better than any college or any training course you can go to, and it's free. I've studied a lot of those and went through a lot of those to learn a lot of stuff that I'm doing. And I've taken little bits of each video. I've seen each way someone does something and made my own way of doing it, and it seems to work. That's what I recommend if you're new to the sport. You want to learn a lot, like you how to install silencers, how to set your knock point, how to set your brace height, how to build arrows, etc., whatever you need. I recommend going on YouTube, just typing it in. Tons of things will pop up. Just watch those and either use use what they're teaching you, or take something from what they're teaching and what else teaching and make your own system, okay? All right. All right, one more, okay? Then we're going to move forward here. All right. That one's no good. All right. What is the most uncomfortable bow that I've ever shot? Okay. That's a tough one. I shot a lot of bows. Probably the most uncomfortable bow that I've shot, well, gotta be that one just reviewed on Ben Pearson. I really didn't like that bow at all, and it took me a long time to get on target with that bow. That bow just didn't like me, and I didn't like it, so I want to just review that Ben Pearson pony. So that's probably the one that I'll probably never pick up again, never shoot again. I'll keep it because it's ambidextrous, go left or right hand, and I've got nieces and nephews. Some are left handed, some are right handed. They come over and shoot. But I don't like that bow at all, and that's probably one of the hardest bows I had to pick up and learn to shoot. Okay. All right. Well, that's been a few Q&A answers. I hope this answers some of y'all's questions. I get a lot of comments and messages from you guys, and like I said, I love reading your comments. I want to thank you guys. I'm almost at 4,000 subscribers. My goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and hopefully with your guys' support and help, I can do that. I want to thank everybody for all the support they've given me, and please send me more comments and questions. And if you like this Q&A, maybe I'll do another one in a few months or so. Okay. Let me show you around my office real quick. So I promise you I do that, and then we will call it a day. Okay, starting here. This wall here, I've got a couple of I've got two crossbows. I only have two. I've got a bone collector over there in the corner. That's a Killer Instinct bone collector, 410 feet per second. And then I've got a Barnett one, which is right here. That one's a 175 pound recurve one. That's one of the first crossbows I ever got. I've killed deer with both of those. On the wall there are some compound bows that I've used and I've shot, and I've done reviews on all those. Bottom down here, you'll see that's one of my long gun cases, which is right there. Okay. My long gun case, that's an old military rifle storage box that I picked up at a military surplus place. Works really well, especially when it's bolted to your floor and your wall. I ain't going anywhere. Right there is going to be a new bow I'm going to be reviewing soon. That is a Kodiak Special target bow. That's a 1962. So I'm going to be doing a review on that. It's a long bow. It's 69 inches from limb tip to limb tip. So look for that soon. Over here are a couple of long bows that I use to hunt with. The bottom one is my AF American Hunter longbow. I did a review on that about 5-6 months ago. I really didn't like that bow at first, but that bow kind of grew on me. I do like shooting it. Once I found the right arrow combination, it's a really accurate bow, and it really likes carbon arrows. It doesn't like wood arrows at all, but I'm shooting some carbon arrows on that. One above that is my Mandarin Duck 2-piece takedown longbow, and the one above that is a brand new, I just got in the mail, that is a Black Hunter bow with the red riser, dynawood riser, recurve, 45 pounds. I'll be doing a review on that soon too, okay? Any bow you see that's got a quiver on it, I'm going to use them bows to hunt with, or I have hunted with them already, okay? Over here are some of my Black Hunter bows, 3 of them that I have. I got some more, but there's 3 there. Top one's a 40-pound longbow. Second one's a 45-pound. The bottom one's a 50-pound longbow. Over here is my bear wall. These are all my bear bows there. That you can see, I got several bear bows there. You look up here. It's a picture that I took when I was in the Navy of a bunch of SEALs on the deck of my ship, the USS LaSalle, shooting bad guys on targets. So I'm also a big Harley fan. As you can see, I like Harley motorcycles. There's a bunch of Harley chips there, Harley motorcycles, some more here. There's a picture of my lovely wife right there in the corner. It's there. All right. There's some of the arrows that I have right there. I got some more arrows right here, and I got a bunch more down here at the bottom. These are all my test arrows I use to shoot with. I got a lot more in my shop. I'll probably do a review on my shop some other time. There's the arrow bow I'm hunting right now, which is a bear grizzly bow. This one belonged to my dad. That's a 48-pound bow, shooting wood arrow shafts. Okay. And of course, I've got a lounge chair in my office, which is right there. If I kick back and watch, so I can watch my hunting videos up here on the screen. This is my editing station where my computer is. I use a laptop, which is that HP laptop with a 32-inch big screen, HD screen for editing. There's my printer over there. There's my field computer. I like to film me when I'm doing stuff in the field. Okay. And there's my bar. Of course, got to have a bar in here, so there's my bar right there. All right. So, got a full bar. Okay. All right. I want to thank you guys for watching, and hope these answer some of your questions. And look for some more videos coming out soon. I got the review on the Kodiak Special coming out. I got the review on the Black Hunter with the red riser coming out. I got two compound reviews coming out. Vintage compound. One's a mid-80s Ben Pearson compound, and one is an early 90s Browning compound. We're going to be setting those bows up, think about shooting them and stuff. So those are all upcoming as well. All right, I do have a new crossbow video coming up, so look for that. That'll be coming out soon too as well. So I'll be sure to look for that. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching, and most importantly, thank you for your support. And any questions or comments, please leave them for me. If you haven't already, please click that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so, okay? If you click that bell next to the subscription button, that way you can notify upcoming videos, all right? And again, I want to thank everybody for their support, and until next time, guys, ciao.